Welcome, everyone, to episode 27, if you're looking at the podcast feed, of Educated Discussions. I'm one of your hosts, Elmo, alongside
Felipe.
And we are currently live from Elmo's house and Felipe's house because we are doing yet another, depending on the order of which you listen to these, at-home telephone call podcast.
We will eventually figure out what is it called? Discord, but we're too lazy to put in effort. And I think we also need some headphones, and I ain't doing all that right now. So, but we'll get that eventually. Well, hopefully you don't even have COVID for long.
Hopefully they don't even notice that there's any weird tech issues happening right now.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway, the listener, can let us know on twitter.com/ed_discussions. You know how we're sounding here. Do we sound like I'm right next to Felipe rubbing his big old thigh?
That is a choice of words right there. Yeah, sure. Go ahead and let us know if you're imagining that. Elmo.
Yes.
Guess what happened today?
It was a day for Fake E3.
That is correct. The Summer Games Fest. This was the Xbox showcase specifically today. Did you want to run through what you thought about the actual Summer Games Fest? Or you want to just jump into the Xbox one? This is what we're mainly here
we didn't really talk about the previous one. I thought it was poorly paced.
I would agree. Yeah, it was some strange choices. Some games following others and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't agree with the way that they showcased it because if you were halfway paying attention and not fully devote, I got kids, but putting 3 horror games in a row that all had similar enough. I mean, it's horror, so they're gonna have similar enough vibes. Right. And then the 2 anime ones in a row, and I'm just the way they bunched them together, I couldn't tell you which one is which.
Yeah, there was also a lot of space. I think even Jeff Keighley said a joke about that as well. But there's a lot of space talk. There's just a whole bunch of weird cyborgs and a few different trailers back to back as well. Maybe that's what you're talking about, the horror games. But there was I don't know. It was underwhelming for sure.
Unfortunately, I think all the big guys are holding their big guns for their own shows.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what I was really hopeful for today. I mean, okay, Xbox had a minor presence there. Same deal with everybody else. It's just random stuff there. So I was like, all right, this is the one, Xbox. And then for clarification, everybody, I am a Sony pony. Okay, so I do not play on Xbox. I play mostly on PlayStation, but I am still interested in what Xbox has to do because, whenever there's a competition, that makes the other people work harder. Okay. So I actually do root for Xbox. I do want them to do well, but I don't know. I guess before we get into it, what did you... Well, I guess, did you want to say your history with Xbox or anything?
Oh, I could say that I was first the purchaser of an Xbox back in the second year of its debut, and I've just had every home console since.
Yeah,
the dawn you are of the Super Nintendo. I don't know.
Yeah, you are a rarer breed. You'll usually get all the consoles. Some people...
Is that really rarer?
I think so. Because there's always... I think it's more rare than you... Well, I don't know. Whatever. You've always had all the consoles.
Speaking of rare, we did not see the developer of Rare outside of Sea of Thieves. And that was frustrating for a reason we'll get into later.
Yeah. So,
But I guess... Sorry, my history with Xbox is... Yeah. I am a sizable Xbox fan, despite having never played a Halo game before.
Right. Yeah, you have some glaring omissions, but that's fine. I guess I'm probably in the opposite camp of you. I've only played Halo.
Oh, yeah.
So we complete each other.
Okay, yeah. We make one full Xbox fan.
There you go. But, I've owned the original Xbox way too late. Like I think even after I had like a PS3, I bought the original Xbox, or my dad had it or something, and he just gave it to me. But nah, I never had one. I never went out of my way to purchase one. I played enough at my friend's house, but yeah, I don't know. There was just always something about the Xbox games that never really like spoke to me, and for the longest time I just thought it was my bias towards PlayStation, because at the time I bought a PlayStation, it was PS3, and at that time the PS3 was like kind of being kicked around, and Xbox was the best, and it was, I mean, it was the king at the time, the 360. So I don't know if I was just sticking to my ground or whatever, so I was like really really stuck with PlayStation. I'm like, oh no, PS3's, PlayStation's the best. So let me tell you something. I saw this showcase, right? I watched the whole showcase today. I watched it live. And this just cements to me that I'm just not an Xbox gamer. Like, none of the things, Elmo, besides a couple things that we texted each other, because we were watching this live, and we were texting each other for a little bit of the show. Dude, nothing stood out to me. None of it looks good. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. And keep in mind, true.
I mean, you did say there was a handful that you were like, oh, that's piqued my interest.
But no, that's what I'm saying. Like, besides a couple like things that we talked about, like none of it is bad. It's just none of it is my interest. It's not that expression. It's not my cup of tea. And I guess I'll elaborate a little bit more on that once we go through some of the news that was discussed. But that was my takeaway from this. I'm like, wow, I guess I just really am not like this console and their direction on games just really isn't for me. And I think that's what I walked away with today. I also think it wasn't the best showcase either. So maybe if they had trimmed some stuff and focused, I don't know, had a different direction, maybe had some more games. They had a ton of games, but more big games.
No, not more games.
No, I know. Poor choice of words there, but more. I don't know. I guess it's tough. But what did you think overall of this conference?
So I went into it, I guess I kind of just like, I didn't even know when it was. Like, I had to ask you what time it started and everything.
Yeah.
But I went into it wanting, I don't know, I had high expectations, I guess, which was what I should not have had, considering I had no hype for the initial event, because it was a very lackluster show for me personally. However, it did make me feel fine about my purchase of an Xbox. Because
it did what?
It made me feel fine about my purchase of an Xbox Series X.
Made you feel fine is the word you used. Okay.
Oh yeah, because I'm like, because correct me if I'm wrong, but every single trailer said day one Game Pass or something along those lines.
Just about all of them, yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So I was just like, okay, that's a game I can play. I don't have to spend money. I don't have to spend additional money. I will play that.
Yeah, that is the true winner of this conference, is how often that message came up on screen, for sure, like far and away. That is the biggest takeaway of this, is just a whole bunch of these games just being either console exclusive or console launch exclusive, and of course the Game Pass, the killer app that Xbox has right now. Definitely very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's so even if something was lackluster, it was like a certain trailer or two, like that Redfall trailer. Like the whole time I was like, I wouldn't spend money on this. But then I was like, oh wait, I could just play it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you've not maybe not the audience, but my feelings on Game Pass. These look like Game Pass games. All of these. You know what I'm saying? That exact same thought that you just had, like, oh, I don't know if I'd spend money on this, but well, it's on Game Pass. I don't know. This is just something that I've told you about my feelings on Game Pass. I think it's a fantastic service, but and I don't want to get into it too much, but I just feel like some games are just held back so they don't lose as much money when putting it on Game Pass. I don't know. Again, that's a bigger thing to talk about, which you can listen to on our
oh yeah, we
my
have
problems
podcasts on
with
this
Game
very-
Pass.
We actually sold Game Pass to someone.
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny. But whatever. I mean, like I said, I don't blame them. If I had Xbox, I'd have Game Pass too. You know, I'd milk it out. I just don't think it's
It'd be
going to be
silly
viable
not
for
to
the
have
future.
it if you had an Xbox.
But anyways, okay. So do you want to jump in and just talk about? We have a long list here of what was announced today. A lot of the stuff, honestly, unless you really want to talk about everything, I don't think a lot of the stuff is really worth talking about. But it's up to you.
I mean, here, I feel like that's a mean statement. Obviously, a lot of hard work went into these games. And,
for sure.
The great passion projects and everything. But I will say that whoever made the trailers, I don't know about the game, but the trailer left me wanting. A lot of the trailers left me wanting. For example, wanting more.
Wanting more. Okay.
We have this game known as Redfall that it kind of opens up the show. And
I want to say a little over long, but go ahead.
I want to say Overwatch. I don't know.
2.
The problem with that one is it reminded me a lot of Rage 2. I don't know if you remember the marketing for that, but it was a ton of like, we're wacky. And then the game came out, it wasn't really wacky. And I feel like that's what's happening here, because like it's this whole like, there's blood everywhere and there's vampires. And
yeah, the
like
narrator was like quirky. Yeah.
And then the game is like, well, everyone talking that like the girl had her like a pink gun that she wrote words on and everything. Like it was inconsistent, and it made me just think like it was trying to do a little too. It was trying to cater to too many people at once.
Mm-hmm.
When I would have just liked a nice. I don't know. It gave me an impression of the game. It's like, oh, it's trying to have a little bit of everything, which means it won't do one thing too well. Even though I believe it is the original Left 4 Dead team. Am I incorrect in saying that?
I'm not really positive. That sounds familiar.
Okay. So it has the ability to be great.
Sure.
And maybe not. Maybe I might be confusing that with something else, but
the game looks it looks like a good time. I mean, that's definitely one of those like probably won't be as fun by yourself, but if you got a good party going, a lot of
I don't really like online multiplayer kind of things. I mean, I have been playing a fair bit of Fortnite.
Yeah,
but
well, that just throws your argument out the window. But okay.
But I I don't like talking to people.
Right, but I mean like with friends.
Yeah. It made me think this game wasn't really for me.
I can see that. All right, so moving on.
It did say you can slay alone or something, and I was like, slay. But I wanted to like it. It seemed like it should be something that I should like, but the tone was all over the place.
You got Game Pass, just
pop it in. But yeah, I have Game Pass, so I'll try it, I guess.
Yeah, why not? Moving on, we have Hollow Knight Silk Song.
I have no real love for Hollow Knight, but I am aware that, dude, every Nintendo Direct for like 2 years has had people like begging for this to be shown, and it's only just now showing up. So if you're someone who's hyped for this, I'm glad you finally got something.
Yeah, and then freaking again Game Pass. So there you go, day one.
Oh yeah, which is great because those I recall like people talking about Hollow Knight and they're like, oh, there's just so much value in it. Like you play for like 100 hours, and I'm like, that's a lot. That's a lot of time for me. I got kids.
No.
More power to you if that's what you're playing, but you got Game Pass. You can play so many things.
Yeah, I realize that I'm going to probably be saying that. Oh yeah, it's on Game Pass. I feel like for the majority of these, it might just be easy to say which ones aren't. You know. But all right, so that's Hollow Knight. I don't have too much to say on it.
It's very pretty.
It looks great. Yeah, I love the art. It looks cool.
If it was a little easier to get, like, to not that I didn't have to play, like, because when I did play the first bit of it, I definitely was like, "Oh, this game seems cool." But then, like, I took like a long break from it, and I came back. And I was just like, "Oh, this is not that kind of game."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gotta get used to the controls again.
Yeah,
all right.
Its difficulty was pretty high. Speaking of high, which was not intentional, the next game that they showed was High on Life.
Yeah. I do not care for the Rick and Morty series. Never really got it. I tried watching a couple episodes. I'm like, it's kind of humorous. Not really. I laughed a couple times, but that's really it. Not really my thing. This is not providing anything differently than the show does. It looks exactly the same, and not for me.
Once I thought about you're pretty much using their butts to shoot, like all those little monsters.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty much their butts. Like, I think that's actually really cool. No, sorry, let me rephrase this. The idea of the weapons all having faces and talking to you is a pretty fun idea.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would like to see that trailer again with more of like kind of like simplified a little bit, because there was just a lot going on.
Yeah,
because it was very pretty.
Yeah, it was.
It was very colorful.
Say that. Yeah, there you go. Art direction, I guess, was there. I'm not a fan of the art they used, though. I guess I could tell you that. But some of the creature designs were neat, and again, some, like I said, I laughed a couple times, but I don't know if I need a whole experience of that. I would probably get tired of it quickly. Just not for me.
Next, we've got Riot Games doing all its... I'm under the impression that giving all of like the League of Legends heroes unlocked is like a pretty sizable deal.
Yeah, I was watching some other people react as well to it, and they were like, "Wow, that's pretty cool. I haven't even unlocked all the people in Valorant yet. Haven't unlocked all the League characters yet. And just here you go, here because you're on Xbox, you get them now. That's crazy. Great for them. Again, do not play a single one of those games.
No,
not my things, but very neat deal for sure that they did. So, yeah. Then this next one for you. I know that you liked. Oh boy, you like that Plague's Tale Requiem.
I'm a big fan of Amicia and Hugo's, little journey they got to go through.
Yeah.
And I will be. I mean, I was gonna say I'll be buying that, but the whole Game Pass deal.
Well, this one's not on Game Pass.
Oh, was it not?
It didn't say it was. Was it?
Well, there's no release date yet, so it just said 2022 or 3. I probably should look more into that then, because I mean, either way, I'm going to be getting it. So if they want me to pay money for it, I will pay.
They said that all of these games will be in the next 12 months. So sometime before June 12th, which is today, you will play this game. So, anyways, whether it's on Game Pass, I don't know. But what did you think? This is the first time I showed a little bit more of it.
It kind of looks like more of what that game was, and I'm all for that.
Okay.
I don't think you liked it as much as I did, but
no, and like I said, and this again, not even because it's a Xbox thing. I got it on PlayStation, so not really any bias there. But man, I really wanted to like that. That was on one of our casts. Or like, games we were looking forward to that year, and I was like, hey, they're remastering or doing the PS5 version of Plague's Tale Innocence. That's the first one, right? Innocence.
Yes. And
I was like, yeah, that's one of my. I really want to play it, and everyone's saying it's good. You were telling me it was good, and I played it, and it's just like, oh, it's not that good. But I finished it though. It was good enough for me to finish.
Final boss was Oh
God, yeah, I had to look that strategies up. God, I just wanted it to be over. I'm like, all right, but anyways, so yeah, I mean, this, like you said, it looks more of the same. If it's ever free on Plus, I'll play it, just like how I played the first one. Next, here's where I was like, because when the showcase started, it was all of a sudden I actually got into it like 2 minutes late, and thankfully Redfall was 14 minutes long, or however long it was, so I didn't miss much. But I was like, oh man, I'm hungry. I didn't get a chance to like make any food. once I saw the wheels for this Forza, I was like, this is my chance to leave. And I got up from the TV and started making my sandwich because I could care less about cars. And that applies to Forza and
you
Gran
could
Turismo.
care less about cars.
I could care less. You know what I mean?
So you I know.
Anyway, so yeah, and I don't mess with any of these games. You know what? You were playing Horizon?
Forza Horizon, yeah, that's
3 or 4. One of them a couple years back with your cousin, something like that.
I like the Horizon games are cool, but the motorsport's a little more like Gran Turismo, and it's like just we really like cars.
Yeah, it's more of a sim from what I understand.
And I am not as big of a fan of cars as they ever seem to be.
Yeah, I don't even like I don't. I barely know what I drive. Like, I don't know anything about cars.
I mean, they get me where I need to go. So
yeah, that's true. As long as it gets me there.
I like cars because it gets me
Lightning
to
McQueen.
locations.
Yeah. Then next, I kept making the sandwich because I looked and I was like, oh no, what's this? Oh, more flight simulator stuff. Another thing.
It looks very pretty. I mean,
oh
so
man,
the
that
Forza...
game looks gorgeous. Yeah, that's actually why I was watching. I'm like, what is this? Oh, this is like Wright Brothers. And once I realized it was the Wright Brothers, I was like, man, this is some flight simulator stuff, isn't it? And then it was. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I was like, all right, let me go back to fixing my sandwich. But yeah, no, very very pretty game. Now I will not take anything away from that. And from what I understand, it's very accurate to like satellite images and whatnot. So good for them, for those that like it. I'm glad that people have this game for those that really want to use them. Airplane control sticks or whatever they're called.
Flight sticks.
Yeah, there you go. But it was neat, the infinite thing that you had, the freaking Pelican from Halo. You can do that and go up into like the stratosphere or whatever. It looked like it was almost space. So that was kind of neat. Cool little tie-in.
I've played Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I have tried to drive to your house.
Okay.
And that weird looking PlayStation 1 texture may have been your house.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I heard it's if you fly too low, of course, they can't get all them textures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways. All right, so moving on. You got some Overwatch 2. Looks like with the date of October.
It looks like more Overwatch.
Yeah.
And
that was one of those games. That was one of those games that I missed, and I was like, man, I really wish I played that. But I feel like it's just too far gone at this point. Like, if I try to get into it now,
it seems to have really catered to, like, that game seems just very different from when I started it. Like, they don't even have like the same like number of team players on a team.
Yeah, well, I heard they changed that for the second one.
Okay. There's also less. I don't know, just certain like a lot of abilities have changed and everything, and it's just. It's like if I were to jump back in, I'd be so lost.
I mean, it would be like a new experience for you.
So much new going on. It would
that might be a good thing.
But I got Game Pass, so I can play so many other things.
Yeah, well, apparently this is a free-to-play game. So, whether you have Game Pass or not, you can still play it. But, anyways, yeah, more Overwatch. For people that are fans, I know that game's huge. Great. I'm happy you guys are getting it. Moving on, some more stuff that not for me. I'm not a big this ARA History Untold. That's kind of like one of them Civilization games, right? Kind of similar.
Yeah, it's unfortunately all those trailers really blend in. I like the one that was shown on the first Summer Games Fest stream because it was focusing on Latin America, and as two people who have done a Hispanic culture and media podcast,
right?
It was nice to be represented in some way. However, all of these don't show gameplay, so I have no idea how they are different in any way, and right. I don't.
It doesn't matter. I want to play the game anyways. But yeah, I forgot that. I was like listening to it, like, oh, the Latinos, and I'm like, wait, what? And then like I see like, oh, Cuba and all this stuff. I'm like, what is happening? Is this just a Latin America game? But it was a part of it. You know, it was interesting to have a trailer focus on that. But it's like, all right, cool.
Let's do more of that.
Yeah, and it wasn't even on freaking well, Hispanic Heritage Month. That was like Latin America month or something. That's not it. Anyways, all right. So moving on, we got some Elder Scrolls Online, some High Isle trailer. Looks like an expansion of some sort. You ever play any of that Elder Scrolls?
I have not.
Yeah, same.
I mean, I've not played the MMO.
That's what I meant. The Elder Scrolls Online.
I have a cousin who very much likes them.
I have some friends too that still play them. I mean, I heard those games are great, especially now.
I just, it's just not my cup of tea.
There you go.
If I was to play an MMO, it would probably be that Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, okay.
And
what isn't that?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The idea of paying for a stream. Paying for a stream. The idea of paying for a game monthly just has never been something I can convince myself to do.
Yeah.
And I believe that's not the case with Elder Scrolls, but again, if I were to play an MMO, that'd be the one.
Right. Okay. Moving on to some other things.
We can say the same about Fallout 76.
Yeah.
Except I know no one that plays that. So.
Yeah, I don't know why they're. I mean, I guess I know why they're still trying to save that. Make do for the terrible launch that it had. But boy, did those graphics stick out compared to everything else, and just not for me. I'm not a Fallout guy. I know you like some Fallout games, and a lot of people like them, but I know
you like Fallout Boy.
I sure do. Yeah, from what I understand, this game was just kind of a fail, and it's better now, but nah. Moving on. Here we go. Some Forza Horizon 5 expansion with some more Hot Wheels. I feel like they did this Hot Wheels thing before, right?
They have, but from what I could see, it's really cool.
Yeah, they got like the tracks all over the place and everything. It looks funny, but in a good way. It looks cool.
It's something. Of all the things so far, it's the thing I would play most after A Plague Tale.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I mean it's not too
because I enjoy those Horizon games. They're great.
Gotcha.
Like I can play with my daughter around.
Yeah.
And it's just something. It's a great podcast game. Like I'm just gonna listen to something and play.
Yeah, I mean you got Aloy running around, so.
No.
Oh, not that Horizon. Oh, Forza Horizon 5. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. All right then. Moving on. we got to see Dom. Game? Yeah, we got to see Vin Diesel in Arc 2. I forgot that he was doing that when he came up again on that dinosaur. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot he was.
Is that like a single player thing or something? Is like why am
Arc,
I?
If I'm not misunderstood. If
no,
I'm not
that's
mistaken,
like an online thing, but like
it's an online thing.
Adding Vin Diesel and everything, is that supposed to?
It sounds like
are they doing something narrative?
Sounds like there's it sounds like there's a narrative, and then probably just very basic, and then you can get into the online stuff. I bet. Probably the narrative just to help you like explain the world and how everything works and mechanics and all that. Kind of like a story mode to a fighting game, Probably like that.
Which that's not much of a sell, but
no, definitely not.
If you're
but Vin Diesel's face on a way jacked body than he has in real life, that is the sell.
On a dinosaur, I don't know how he put that armor on it.
Hey man, he's Vin Diesel. He has a family. He can do it.
Okay.
All right. Now this next one. This is the game that made you feel, in your words, yucky.
Now I'm realizing what it rhymes with, and I wonder, is that a thing that I'm supposed to, like, connect?
Yeah, this game, Scorn, was first showed sometime last year. I think it's maybe Game Awards or something. I'm not really sure. But it caught my eye. It's supposed to be a very gross-looking game, and all the weapons just look like orifices and
I've
body
been
parts.
I've been so desensitized to a lot of content because of like Mortal Kombat and everything.
All the stuff
You know,
we
just
watch.
playing games all my life. But this friggin', I was like, ugh, several times. I was like, this is disgusting.
Yeah, and I think that's the point of it. It's a very gross, sexually implied, just weird. You know what it reminds me of? And not that I this is pretty bad, but not that I watch any of it, but stuff that I've seen when people make fun of it. But it reminds me a lot of hentai. You know what I'm saying? Like just weird tentacled, gross things everywhere. A lot of stuff stringing from each other.
I know.
Just that's what it reminds me of.
That's a choice of comparison.
Hentai and Doom had a baby.
I was gonna say more. It reminds me more of like just Saw at its kind of worst.
Okay, torture porn. Torture.
Yeah. Tortured.
Anyways, very gross looking game. But I like what I see.
There's
Well,
not enough
really,
of
but, you know what I mean.
of the word senpai for me to agree with you, unfortunately.
Well,
on your
play the game. Haven't played the game yet. All right then. What's this next one? Flintlock. I don't even remember what this was.
Oh, it looked like it was like some third person action. Almost looks like.
That's the one with like the weird creature thing. Some weird like phoenix fox or some kind of weird thing. Like she had like a little pet.
Yeah.
When I was looking at that, I felt bad because I really like the character design of the main character and the little fox. I'm like, oh, that's cute. She's got like a companion or whatever. But man, that was not a good, like that game doesn't. It looks very barren. Like it looks like there's not much going on.
Forward.
Yeah, it was a weird showing, and I feel bad because again I liked it. It kind of, I don't know, kind of just reminded me of just, you know what? It reminds me of a launch game for like a new console. Like here's some stuff, but it's not like fully there. I don't know. It didn't look that good to me. I hope that they do fix it though, because there is something there. But they have this really cool looking character, and if I'm not mistaken, I didn't see this chick talk. Like, what's the story? You know, I don't know.
Yeah, it was just like combat.
It was just like combat, and again, the environments were kind of bland. It looked all pretty, but like there wasn't much in it. It was just kind of like empty. Whatever. Again, not for me. Looks like a Game Pass game.
Which is almost frustrating because I feel like I've like been like. In the past, I've been very like I hate CG trailers because it doesn't show me any of the game. But this could have used some of that just to like establish some of like the story, like you mentioned, or something of more substance than
just mix it in. You don't have to have all
fights.
gameplay. Just do a little like intro, boom, and then here's some gameplay. Boom, here's a little bit of story, more gameplay, and then end with like a cool cinematic. That's it.
I know more about the story of Scorn than I do of Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn, which is not a good title.
No, it's not. But hey, they're running out of words at this point. All right, next one. Another game. That's not for me. Minecraft Legends. Is that supposed to be like the Minecraft story mode or Steve or?
Well, story mode wasn't that like a telltale like?
You're right.
Choosing decisions. This seems like a not tower defense, but like a strategy game of some type.
Yeah, there you go. Is it just like the dungeons thing? I don't know anything about them.
The dungeons was like a mini Diablo.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, not for me. You?
No.
Okay. All right, moving on. This one I forgot. Let's see if you can refresh my mind. What's Lightyear Frontier?
That's the farming game.
Oh. Yeah,
you're in a tank, and it's not a tank. You're like in a mech, and you farm.
Oh, yeah, you know what? I remember that. I was looking at it, and I'm like, I really like the art and the vibe this game has, but I will not play this because the gameplay is just not for me. But yeah, I remember the mech, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. But once I saw, like, oh, I gotta chop this tree and plant this, and nah. Not for me. All right.
I'm surprised I remember.
Yeah. You want to take? You want me to keep going through the list, or do you want to go?
Yeah, keep going because I don't know what Gunfire Reborn is.
Oh, that's why I wanted you to take this one. I forgot. Yeah, Gunfire Reborn. I don't know what this is. Oh no, I opened up the trailer. Hang on 1 second.
I think we were texting around this time.
Yeah. Oh, it's like them weird animal things, and they're like, it's like a co-op game.
Oh yeah.
It's okay. Nah. I don't like it. I see what they're going for with the art. It looks like they're trying to do like a PS2 thing or something. But nah, not for me. Not for me. Okay. Now here's the one that until this point I was like, yo, this finally something that looks good. And this was
It looked really good.
Yeah, I'm sorry, real good. They're good looking stuff, you know.
The last case of Benedict Fox.
Yeah, boy. I first I was like, I don't know, like I see the car driving or whatever, like the cinematic. But then once the dude gets to the house, and then like there was just like a different vibe there, like with all the lighting, like all the mood, like it was just all really good. And then you start seeing the gameplay, and I was like, yeah, there we go. That's what this is. This looks great.
It did. It. Other than, okay, I'm sorry. I said that Forza Hot Wheels would be number 2. This would probably be number 2 for me.
Number 2, okay.
Yeah.
Have you said your number 1 yet?
Oh, the Plague Tale.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Plague Tale. So, okay. Yeah, this would be my number 1 so far of anything that looks good. I really liked what I was seeing, and I liked the different switches. Like I thought, oh, okay, it looks like it was like a simple platformer, but then like, you know, there's like ghouls and it's just what is it called? Paranormal stuff. It
reminded me of like I felt like you might like it because it had some Inside vibes.
Yeah, there you go. It reminded me of that too, but a little bit more colorful. The color palette was there, and some neat things. Then do you remember that game, The Darkness?
Yes.
Yeah, towards the end, he had like some weird tentacle things coming out from him. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that.
That's not a game reference very often.
Yeah, nope, definitely not. But yeah, I really liked what I saw there. And if this, they're like working on some Game Pass attachment you can put behind the TV. I know like Samsung is getting them now, like built in.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Hey, if I'll get Game Pass to play that, why not? That looks fun.
You can just buy the game too.
Oh, that too. But I don't have an Xbox is what I mean. I think there you only stream it. I don't know. Anyways, this next one.
As Dusk Falls.
As Dusk Falls, yeah. What did you think of the art style of that one?
I want to like it, but I don't.
Isn't that weird? I'm exactly the same way. I'm like, when I first saw it, I was like, yo, oh, no. Like it was like a mixed thing. Like for a second I was like, yo, this is kind of cool, but then once it kept going, I was like, oh, I can get kind of bored or not bored, but like frustrated with this.
I'll be interested in reviews.
Yeah,
because maybe it'll be great. It's just
the thing is, the art is really good, like for those for the people, like it's very stylistically just really good. I don't know. I really like the art, but yeah, the whole weird motion thing that they're doing, and then you mix it in with like the real, like they kept showing the police cars, and that's fully motioned. It's just the people aren't. It's odd choice, but anyways, yeah, it's funny that you described it that way because I couldn't really have my words, but you're like, I wanted to like it, but I don't. I was like, yeah, that's exactly how I felt. So, anyways.
This
so
next one
that.
seems like something you might like. Naraka Blade Point.
Baraka?
No.
For Mortal Kombat?
I got the impression it was like almost like a battle royale, but with like ninja combat.
Oh yeah. No, this didn't look that good to me.
There's 10 million players. They made sure to say that in the trailer. Yeah,
I ain't gonna be one of them, so I don't know. this. I'm looking at the trailer now. It's okay. But
it seemed to me like something you would play for a little bit and be like, oh, this has something.
Yeah, this looks like something that should be. Is this free to play?
I feel like it was a.
It looks like something that you would find towards the end of the PS3 generation or early PS4 generation. That's probably fine, but no, not for me.
Well, Pentiment is next, and I'm sure you have nothing positive to say.
Pentiment. Oh, is this that? Yeah,
like 2D with like old
with the
art.
No, just not my style at all.
I could see if I was on the Switch, maybe I could give it a shot. Had
Yeah,
some
that nice
interesting
old,
looking
like the new
ideas.
Switch with the OLED screen. I'm sure that would look great, but nah, dude, this is just so not me.
No, it is not you. That's for sure. But I think I'll give that one a shot. I don't recall when the release date is. November. So
yeah,
I'll definitely, my birthday month can be a game filled one.
There you go. The full version of Grounded. Finally, I thought that game was out. I did not know it was still in beta or what is it, early access or whatever.
It's been for a while now. I remember when it was first shown, I was like, I'll try that out, and I never did. Maybe now that there's a full actual release in quotes,
yeah,
I'll actually give it a shot. It seems like there was going to be a story.
Yeah, I'm sure it looked good. I mean, that's a game that I would have played if I had access to it, but don't know for how long or whatever. That's definitely a Game Pass game that I would definitely check out if it was free. Not one I would purchase myself, but it looked good.
This next one, Ereban, the Dark Legacy, Shadow Legacy. I'm looking at the trailer again because
that cell shaded, kind of looking thing.
I don't know how
neat.
to feel.
It's neat. I'm honestly surprised you don't know how to feel because this seems like when you were talking about all the anime games you want to play, this kind of looks like one of them.
It's not anime enough.
Oh, this is that Shadow game. That's right.
The Hedgehog?
No. Yeah, it looks fine. Again, I feel bad saying the same thing, just not for me. This is the overview of the whole conference. Just a lot of these games just not speaking to me. All right, then we got Diablo 4.
Have you played any Diablo in the past?
I think I tried it once, and I just not my kind of game. Like the top down thing. It's kind of like League and stuff. It's just not. I don't like those kind of games. So no, but there was a great trailer. It was funny because at this point, my daughter was walking in, and that was a trailer.
Oh my god, the same for me.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter got to see this werewolf just devour this carcass with ribs and stuff, and just a lot of heads being chopped off
during the gameplay part of it.
The gameplay part. Oh, there was gameplay in this. Oh, after where they're like, here's the new necromancer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, my daughter was watching during the trailer. Just got to see a head be decapitated. My daughter's 3, so.
Oh, mine too. So,
she was.
I'll try it,
hiding.
Especially if it's coming to Game. I don't know if it's coming to Game Pass. It probably is, like everything else. But I liked what I played of Diablo 3. So.
These games are really great to everyone that that likes them. Well, obviously, but these games have a big following, is what I guess meant to say. So I'm really happy that this was announced because if I'm not mistaken, I mean it's been announced before, but I think it's been a while since they last talked about it. So it's kind of neat to see it kind of have a window to 2023 and obviously before to today's date next year. So that's good, I guess. Then we got some. So we got some more. Well, there you go. Isn't this rare?
Yeah, it is. I liked the trailer, and it just made me think. Could you make Banjo? Could you just do that?
Can you just make Banjo, please?
I know that team's not the same team anymore, but I was there were rumors of a Banjo-Kazooie kind of resurfacing here, and it obviously did not happen because they played their you'll play in the next 12 months rule for this conference, but
hey, maybe Banjo's 13 months.
Sea of Thieves is a game. Again, here's some proof of what I mentioned before. I don't like playing games online. I loaded it up, didn't know what I was doing. I picked a guy. I was on a beach, and as I was walking around, some other player starts walking with me. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Then he sends me a message that says "Habla español." Habla español, and I immediately shut it off because I'm like, I don't want to talk to people.
Dang.
Which is my own problem. I could show you. Yeah. I could screenshot this message for you on the Xbox.
I believe you. I don't think I need the screenshot.
I don't know. I was just like, I just wanted to try it out. I don't want to commit to anything. I'm just gonna turn it off, especially because I don't want him to get attached. Also, my Spanish is not. I sound so American.
You could just say no.
I could have.
That would have solved so much problems. Anyways,
listen, it was a lot of societal pressure. So anyway, I don't think it's something you'll ever touch. So
no.
Next, we've got Ravenlock, which I'm gonna look at because I don't remember.
I'm looking at the trailer now. This is that with the kids, and it looks kind of like Alice in Wonderland-y.
This is when my daughter started talking to me about her trip to the park.
Oh, how was it? Probably more interesting than this trailer.
She went on a slide, which was near another slide. I don't know, but it could be cool.
Yeah, it looks fine.
I liked Alice Madness Returns, so this seems to go in a different direction.
Yeah, but it's not terrible looking. More quirkiness, some fun designs there, so that's fine for those. But again, not something I'm interested in.
Thoughts on Cocoon? I think it's an Annapurna game.
I do like the Annapurna games.
Yeah.
Cocoon.
It's from the lead gameplay designer of Limbo and Inside.
Yeah.
So Felipe might like that one.
It's definitely neat looking. That's probably one I'll have to wait on reviews for, but yeah, the more I'm watching this, the more I don't know it is for me.
It's got the blood of Inside in it. Oh, that's a weird way to phrase it.
Yeah, blood is inside, Elmo. Come on. All right then. All right, now this is the one I actually missed. This new one coming up, Team Ninja, the Wolong Dynasty. I don't know what it. Oh yeah, we had to leave and go get some coffee or something, and I was joining my wife and friend, and I had to take my phone and take the conference with me on the go because we all had to leave. And
this was a very frustrating one for my 3-year-old to wander around during.
Yeah, you get that
because there were moments of oh, they're just fighting, okay, but then here's death happening.
Yeah, I'm watching it now, and I think I was interested in it during the while I was briefly watching it on my phone as I was walking around or driving around. But
there's no gameplay though, so I don't really know. what to expect
that's the one thing. But I like the.
Is it just a Dynasty Warriors?
I don't want to be. Yeah, that's what that's what I'm worried at. But I don't know if it is. I don't want to be culturally insensitive, but is this Chinese? Right.
Oh, you mean the characters?
Yeah. It just looks like, you know what? I'll wrap it up a little easier. This looks like Asian madness, and I love it.
I believe it is Chinese influenced.
That's what I thought.
You could at least say that. Yeah. I'm looking at the
trailer. Just looks very anime-y and just with all the powers and I gotta eat this stuff to get stronger. I don't know. It reminds me of Aaron biting himself to transform into a. Well, anyways, I don't want to spoil it for anyone. Anyways, Attack on Titan. It just looks very anime-y, that game, and I like it. I like Team Ninja. I like some of the stuff they've done in the past. So again, I wish like you, I wish there was some gameplay there. But
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't even know
my
what I'm looking
interest is piqued. How about that?
at. Persona, those games that are very long that I've
Yeah.
already played and beaten are coming.
That's great. If I'm not mistaken, that's the first time in at least a very long time that any of the Persona games have been on Xbox. So that's kind of a big
I
win.
don't, other than like the spin-offs, like maybe
Yeah,
like
the fighting games.
even then, I don't know.
I want to say there was something on like the Xbox original, the one.
Well, you've had the ability to play Persona all this time, and you have not, so I know how you feel about that. But it's great that those games are coming somewhere else. I just want to know, like, are there that many people that don't?
With those Persona games, like I've surprised myself with certain games I've liked. Like I played Catherine. All right, now that's another Atlas game, and I liked it. I know that's not the same, but I have interest in those games. But honestly, it's what everyone says about them that deters me. Like, oh, you need 200 hours. I'm like, I put in nearly 200 hours in Elden Ring. That's a big commitment, but I don't know if I can do that for a Persona game.
Not 200 hours, but
That's what I
definitely
hear.
100 plus. 100 plus for sure.
That's a lot of hours, man.
That is a lot of hours, yeah.
So that just kind of scares me because a game like that, I don't know if I can handle over 100 hours of. You give me 35 to 40, I'm good.
Why they haven't put it on the Switch yet is insane
Licensing.
to me.
I don't know. All right, now so that's it for Persona, right? Nothing else?
Nothing else.
Okay. Here's to me the dumbest thing of this whole announcement. And I was so hyped for a second. Because I was telling my wife, I'm like, yeah, nothing's really hitting for this thing. And they were like about to pick up the coffee, and I was like, oh, here we go. Here's something. Because I saw Kojima's face, and I was like, oh, here we go. There's been rumors of that. There's like some title for, what is it called? Like Overdosed or something? Overdose?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. Anyways, I was like, finally, like this is crazy. And I'm like, but they didn't show anything. Why on earth would you make this an announcement? I mean, well, I get it, just to build hype because Kojima's a big name, but it's like, what a lame thing. Like, wow, I'm partnering with Xbox and I get to make a game I've always wanted to make.
I think
Xbox.
that's how they
that was
broke. It's because everything, it's not coming out in the next 12 months. I think that's why it was just, hey, there's more news coming later. Because then it would have broken
they
the
said that
12
all
months.
of the games are 12 months.
Yeah, this one's not. That's why they didn't show any game.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So all games shown. Ah, you're right. Sneaky.
This was
Xbox.
this was just like a little like, hey, just so you know, we wanted to announce this somewhere. Sure, they're gonna use the cloud gaming tech, which Kojima will get weird. So let's do it.
I'm sure. I don't know. I
You like Death Stranding?
I liked it enough. Not as much as a lot of people did though, but it was very just odd. Do you think this is going to be an exclusive?
I mean, it says Xbox partnership.
Okay.
And he's going to use the cloud tech, so, I mean, probably would be on PC as well.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, great for Xbox. This is one of those things like I'm a little jelly on, because it's like, oh man, he was doing so good with Death Stranding. I wanted to see more. I really hope, well, this is going to be a very selfish thing for me, okay? So I apologize in advance, everybody. I hope that this game isn't the horror game that he's making, because I want to play that. And I guess I still could if it was on Xbox, but just have him just have him do a horror game, and I just want to play that on my PlayStation. That's all.
I mean, I would make some predictions, but I honestly can't.
It's difficult with the little bit of info that they gave us.
Yeah, and with Kojima being Kojima.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, I guess we'll see what happens. All right, now let's go to the big. This is the finale that they ended with. All right, so we're almost done with this showcase, everybody. They're talking about Starfield. This
cool
is
logo.
the big one. Oh yeah, sure. What did you think about Starfield, Elmo?
It was the first Excuse me, sorry. This was a game that I was like, oh, this seems more like what's been going on at E3 in the past. Like, this felt like the most E3 kind of piece of the showcase.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And it looked like a little bit of No Man's Sky with...
Definitely looked like No Man's Sky. Like, I was thinking that too when I was watching it, but I'm like, maybe it's just whatever. It's a guy in a suit and they're in space. I get it. But no, dude, people put like a side-by-side of certain things happening in what they showed here and then the same exact things happening in No Man's Sky. I was like, this is just HD No Man's Sky. What the heck? But anyways, so, all right, continue.
Sorry, it just... It's going to sound like I'm being down on it, but it looked like it's Skyrim in space.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of the Bethesda games. So, I've never liked any of the Fallouts, any of the Skyrims. I never fully gave it a chance to play them all. Like you know when you sit down and you're like, all right, I'm gonna play this game and I'm gonna see what I think about it. I never gave it that chance. I would play it at friends' houses, but just because it was like here, like they pass the control and it's like you kind of grab it awkwardly because you're like, oh sure, I'll play a little bit. I did that a few times. Oh, you know what? I tried doing that with Fallout 4. I think I showed you that the moment I turned on Fallout 4, I immediately had a glitch before I could even play anything. So I was like, well, that's a great intro. But besides that, yeah, I never liked any of these games. So I'm looking at this, and it's just looking more of that, like you said. Like when he's walking around outside, yeah, Skyrim in space. Right now, I'm watching some of it right now. There's a lot of like shooting and like some first-person gameplay. It just looks like Fallout now, like in space. Like I don't know, it just
their promise at the end of like, hey, there's 1,000 planets.
Yeah,
I mean, it depends. I'm sure some of that has to be procedurally generated.
Yeah, right.
It if it's done well, like I could see that being like a really cool experience, especially because you can make your custom ship and everything.
I will say that to have some kind of positive on this, because again, just this whole thing, again, I'm not into the Bethesda games. This whole thing's just not for me. But I will say that the way it looks and animations of everybody talking and everything, and just the gunplay, that all looks pretty solid. Especially because Bethesda games have this thing called jank that everyone talks about. Like there's always like some hitching here and there, and the animations are never great, and like the faces don't line up properly with what the people's movements. They definitely got that tightened up a lot, and a lot of this looks really, really good. And if you're able to provide the same quality of open worlds that those games, that they normally do, but now have these animations and all this stuff fixed up and prettied up, this is going to be great for those that want that experience. I don't, but for those that do, this is going to be a very polished version of what they've had in the past, and that's great. If you want that, a lot of people do. They're very popular games. So, you have played more Fallout than I have, and I assume you have played some more Skyrim or Elder Scrolls than I have. Is this something you're interested in? Do you want to give this a shot?
I'll definitely give it a shot. I played very little of Fallout 4, but I've played a fair amount of Skyrim, and I think that's just more of like my personal taste, like the post-apocalyptic versus fantasy. And this is neither of those, so I kind of want to go in with a fresh perspective. I played No Man's Sky. I actually got it at launch because I bought into the hype of that.
Yeah.
And
you ever go back and see them new updates?
No, I need to. I've wanted to. I downloaded it on the PS5 so I could do that exactly.
Nice.
But it definitely felt like it was missing a little bit of character. It was very...
Which one?
I'm sorry, the Starfield. It seemed like it was very slow paced and very like if I'm gonna compare it, I don't think it's a great comparison, but like if you were to watch some gameplay of Mass Effect and just like throw someone in the beginning where it's just talking, I could see that looking kind of boring and bland, especially when you don't really know what's going on. But now I could watch the intro sequence to Mass Effect 1 and be like, oh, they're setting it up. It's so cool.
There's Garrus.
Maybe it's nothing to you, but you're hearing some good info. So I want to go in with a positive mindset. But what they showed was a little more bland than I was kind of hoping for. I think it's also because I played that game Outer Worlds, which was an Obsidian developed kind of Fallout, which was space as well. Right. And that one I really liked, and I always wanted to go back to it. So, and it had a lot of character. So I'm hoping there's at least some of that in here, because everything just looked like I'm a commander in the general's army.
I think that what you just did there had more personality than any of the characters had.
No, there was a guy talking like that. I'm just like, why is that accent in here? I mean, like, if people are gonna have accents in space, but
right,
it just it came off very like generic.
It was bland.
Yeah,
what I want to use.
But
okay, so that's pretty much it for what was shown for that conference. I mean that's where it ended. What did you want to see that was not there?
Doing the whole 12 months part should have got me excited for like, I want to play this and this and this. Like, I should have gone into that press conference being like, all right, I want to write down the dates. This is what I'm going to play in September and October and November. But I don't really think it came in a specific order. So no. I don't know if that would have helped it. But this just kind of happened, and it felt like they, just from what I want, I'm a big fan of JRPGs. I'm a big fan of a lot of narrative, and not a lot of these had it.
No, a lot of gameplay focused things.
Yeah, unless you're talking about that. What's it called? The not High on Life. The one with the weird art style that we want.
Yeah, the Ashes or I forget.
Oh yeah, like Plague Tale. Like that was the highlight for me, because that I know. But if I had seen it without having played the prequel, I don't know if that would have excited me either.
Yeah, I gotcha.
I just think these were trailers that were not. I don't want to say not well made, but they weren't for me.
Okay. There's been this joke that is now kind of ironic, because this used to be the joke that was against PlayStation back during the PS3. But there's this joke these days, mean-spirited, that was like, hey, Xbox got no games. So with all these major purchases that they've been doing, of course, buying Bethesda and buying Blizzard and Activision and all the subsidiaries that come with that, and others. There's like, that now they finally have the resources to get some games. Mm-hmm. So what I saw for this showcase, I don't think that has changed this joke. I saw a couple things. And maybe just because it's still too early to see what these game studios are working on. I know games take a while. They can take like anywhere between the average game, 3 to like 4 or 5 years to make. But still, like, I don't know. I think it was a mistake saying, hey, all these games are going to be in the next 12 months. I would have preferred that they say, hey, the first hour is going to be the games the next 12 months. The last bit is a tease of what's to come. And I don't feel any different about Xbox after this. All these games, sure there's there, but in reality it was mostly just like indie stuff, if I'm not mistaken. Like there were some partnerships there. Like there were either updates to games that are already out or indie games, really. And then Starfield is really like the big one that they announced, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it was big enough. I don't know. Like where's Perfect Dark? Where's Fable?
And they're not ready
Where's
in the next
Banjo?
12 months.
But I know that's what I'm saying. Like with them limiting themselves to the next 12 months, one that shows you, oh crap, they're really not ready for these other games, and two that limits you being able to see games that aren't going to be ready in the next 12 months. I wanted to see stuff that's out in the future. Give me some concept art for what Kojima's working on. At least I get an idea. Even in Summer Games Fest, the dumb announcement about a Last of Us multiplayer, you know, they're like, well, we're not really ready to talk about it, but here's a concept art. That's better than what they did with Kojima.
I want your opinion on something. If they were to do this next year, would you watch it?
Yeah. Again, I want to be. I don't want my tone of what I just watched to be the same every year. I want to like leave the thing and be like, wow, Xbox killed it. Like there was one year of E3 where Xbox like clearly won. And I remember just thinking that. I'm like, wow, they really nailed it this year. Like this is insane. It was probably the year they announced Game Pass. I don't remember. But I don't want to be negative on Xbox. But I am. Like none of these games really speak to me, and I will watch this next year. I'm gonna have my fingers crossed. Hopefully they have some more stuff that I want to see. Where's Xbox Smash Brothers? Smash Stars.
Smash Star. Here's the thing with me. They at least had like there was just trailer after trailer after trailer. Like sure, I was a little like underwhelmed. But, like, I'll tell you what, I still didn't go back and watch that State of Play.
What do you mean? Oh, did you never see it?
No, those State of Plays have been... I want Sony to do something more like this.
Oof. Let me tell you, and I know this is biased because I love PlayStation. I will going to agree with you almost every other time ever in existence for State of Play, except for this one.
And you know what? Maybe that's the case, but they've burned me so many times that I don't even care to watch this last one.
Yeah, I understand that for sure. Yeah, Steady Plays are almost always disappointing or whatever. This is the exception.
I mean, I looked at what was announced and, like, I mean, that didn't do much for me. Other than like when it came to something new, and a lot of it wasn't it stuff that will probably. I mean, like, Resident Evil 4 is not exclusive to PS5, right?
I don't think so.
So, I mean, Final Fantasy, I think, will be exclusive. So,
at least launch.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that looked great.
I'm not excited for Spider-Man on PC, just because I already played it.
Yeah. Again, different strokes for different folks, I guess. I still like the pacing of the State of Play more than this. It was just anyway, it doesn't matter. We're not here to compare and contrast things, but no, like I said, I'll still watch it. I want Xbox to do good things, and this was at least better than the Games Fest, right? This is better than Game Fest, or no?
What was that Dead Space game?
Oh, Callisto Protocol.
That's been my most interested anything.
At the State of Play. That's interesting.
Anyways. Wait, was that that was the Summer Games Fest, right?
That was at State of Play. It was also at Summer Games Fest. But
okay. I just didn't see. I didn't see it. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But anyways, okay. So you didn't really answer my question at all there. But
what's your question?
Was this Xbox showcase better than the Summer Games Fest showcase?
Oh. I didn't want to skip through it like I did the Summer Games Fest.
There you go.
So
Still not answering it? Okay, there it is.
It was better.
Okay,
I didn't want to skip through like I did the other one.
Again, 2 minutes to get to the. All right then. Do you wanna rate this? Do you want to give this a score?
Are we doing our old score?
I'll do my version. You do yours, I guess.
Okay. I use a 5-star scale. Felipe uses a out of 10 scale with 0.5s.
Yep, 20-point scale.
I'm gonna give this a 2 out of 5.
Wow, which means what?
Not good.
Not good. Okay. I'm gonna give this a 4, which means bad.
That's the same score if you do the math.
Yeah. I was actually trying to do that on purpose.
Okay.
And try to use the other word for not good. It's bad. Okay. Yeah, no. So we're in the same boat. It was, yeah, I think ultimately just not for us. A lot of this stuff here.
I don't know, and maybe this is just me, but someone else should have made these trailers.
I will say the music was bumping in a lot of these trailers. That's some good soundtracks to a lot of these. But
sure, I guess. I mean,
just
again, they made Plague Tale not look as amazing as I know it will be.
Yeah. Just let me cut this show together. You know what I'm saying? Let me do this. But all right then. Well, that was the our reactions to this Xbox Summer. What
Games Showcase?
Just Xbox Game Showcase. Yeah. Overall, disappointing. This is the one I was looking forward to. Even more so after the Summer Games Fest was just not as good. And I was just like, oh, okay. So Xbox is really they're saving the big guns. Here we go. And it was just more disappointment. So just
when one of the highlights is supposed to be, yo, we got Persona. I'm like, I already played those.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool, but I don't want to play them again. I mean, maybe I'll play 3 again. I don't know.
Again, not everyone's in the same boat as you, Elmo. You know what I'm saying? Like, not everyone has all the consoles.
But who has an Xbox? Who wants to play Persona but only has an Xbox?
I'm sure there's a lot of people.
Who is that person? There can't be that many of them.
Well, at least on the 360 or the Xbox One, because they ain't selling too hot this gen. But, anyways, I'm sure there's people out there. And what is this gonna cost the Atlas? Nothing. They're just porting them over.
I don't know. They're annoying.
Just changing the menu from saying X triangle circle. Well, now it's Y B.
I'm sure it's more work than that.
Nah, that's all it is.
Well, listen. If you disagree or agree, or are that person who wants to play Persona or whatever, you should comment on the YouTube feed. You should find us on Twitter at @ED_discussions.
Mm-hmm.
You should also listen to us, if not on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find your podcasts.
Maybe even on TikTok. You know what I'm saying?
We do have TikToks.
Yep. Winter fresh.
Yeah. So please, tell your friends, tell your uncle's brother's cousin's sister's roommate that if they want a good time, they should listen to some educated discussions.
Yeah, and tell your uncle's cousin roommate to follow us on OnlyFans. Because we got some great content up there.
Are we editing this part out?
No.
Okay. I'm a big fan of ceiling fans, so yes.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. All right, then. Well, thank you for listening, everybody. We hope you had something to enjoy from this show. We hope you enjoyed it more than we did. How about that?
Yeah.
But I do have a request to everyone listening. And that would be to keep it educated.
Keep it educated.
Okay, that was not even close.
No. I'm thinking, because last time we did it at the same time, and it didn't come out right in the audio. But this time I said it directly after you, so maybe it'll sync up.
So I say it before me this time.
Okay.
And I need you to keep it educated.
No, you didn't wait for me.
No, I need you to... whatever. Okay, bye.